Last time on Dragon Ball New Age, a mysterious entity from the Demon Realm would arrive in East City that would make the mistake of encountering the daughter of Vegeta almost immediately into his slaughter, taking the fight out of the city. Will the prince be able to make easy work of him, or is there something the villain is hiding? After a swift power-up, the demon questions Vegeta if he's prepared himself for the end. And while he might not be able to sense his opponent's ki, if that first attack was any indication at all, his full power will mean little to nothing. Charging, he screams this fool will not shake him. But blocking with almost zero effort, the prince figured as much. This guy won't even be able to make things interesting. Knocking the invader to the ground. It becomes clear he's growing frustrated. Vegeta alerts that's 2 strikes. He gets 1 more, suggesting he make it count. This mocking causes the demon to go from frustrated to furious. How dare he taunt him? This earthling has no idea who he's meddling with. Now he has to teach him a lesson he'll never forget. He gains some distance while screaming the Saiyan will pay for mocking him, challenging him to deflect this. A strange energy surrounds the villain as he grunts the words, Majutsu, Kokuden Maku, which translates to Demon Sorcery, Black Flame Barrage. Though our hero's lifetime of battle experience tells him this is a sort of incantation and realizes this must mean his foe can use magic-based abilities. However, what this fiend wields is far beyond any mortal magic. What lies in front of him is absolute command over demonic magic, the most powerful and divine of all black arts, bidding the prince farewell. With that powerful explosion, the demon believes the skirmish to be over, even regaining the confidence to laugh at Vegeta for thinking he could take him so lightly. He feels it's a pity he had to destroy him completely. His energy would have been very useful. Although, it is pretty astonishing anyone on this planet could force him to utilize some of his magic. But as the dust settles, Vegeta is revealed to be perfectly fine. Continuing his taunts, he asks, even with a magical attack, that was his best? A wave of horror passes through the invader. This is impossible! That was one of his best magical attacks. Surely this can't be happening. He wonders if his demonic energies have truly decayed to such a state. Coughing and wheezing, Vegeta appears behind him without him so much as realizing, until he speaks, that is, questioning if this is really it. Apparently, that was all he had. Swinging his head around, the demon asks how, but he was told from the beginning, his power will make no difference today. As things currently stand, Vegeta hasn't even used half his strength yet. Turning back around, the stranger appears to tremble, uttering such power is truly extraordinary. He theorizes, This is what it must feel like, isn't it? This feeling, the feeling of fear, the pain, the anticipation, the taste of your own blood. Seeing his foes seeming to enjoy this, the prince wonders if he's some kind of masochist or something. And not exactly dispelling this, the demon mutters that sadly, Vegeta can't grant him that which he desires. And he's afraid only they can grant him such a gift. But there's still much the Saiyan can offer, so much more. As a dark, ghoul-like monster shoots from his body. Hours pass, or maybe only seconds. A voice in the darkness calls out to Vegeta to comment he is very prideful. His will is very strong, but that's all right. He likes a good challenge. Even a spirit such as his own can be broken, so he wants to see how strong he really is. Jolting awake, the prince is in disbelief at the realization he's okay. Looking around, that being is gone. He figures he must have slinked away while he was unconscious, but the question is now where he ran off to. He still can't sense his ki, so there's no way to track him, for now. Vegeta curses himself for letting his guard down, a mistake he'll be sure not to make again. One way or another, that demon is bound to slip up and run into the other sooner or later. If not himself, he can be dealt with then. He puts his jacket back on, deciding to head back to East City, where all just might still be there. He'll tell Trunks about this once they return home. But it's still weird. Something just feels off. Even the air feels stagnant and heavy, almost lifeless. He figures it must have been his magic. It might be affecting his senses a little bit. Though he wonders what that thing was anyway. He's never seen anything like it before. That black fog that came out of him. That horrible sense of dread. Could it have been an illusion? Something he created with a sorcery? He did call himself the Lord of Demons. Vegeta thought that was the title held by Dabura. Maybe there's a connection there. Perhaps the Kaioshin know more about him. Whatever the case, the fact he can use magic at all might be a problem. If he gets stronger, his magic could become a legitimate threat. That's when he notices heaps of smoke in the distance, pondering where it could be coming from. East City lies in ruin. No doubt the work of that alien. Only he could have done this. He must have come back here while Vegeta was out. But why? Why would he come back to the city and attack it, instead of attacking he himself? When he realizes it's even worse than he thought, he must have returned here for Bra. Searching through the wreckage. To his horror, he spots someone below, clearly no longer among the living. Landing down, it's exactly who he fears it would be, his child. Screaming out in pain, Vegeta demands the coward show himself. He bellows when he finds him. He will make him beg for mercy. Kneeling, he goes to pick up Bra. He apologizes, knowing now he never should have left her, and he promises he will find that murderer and make him pay. When she reaches out to plant her hand on his face, she whispers to her father it's okay. She forgives him. This sudden happening causes the prince to dart back. Something is very wrong here. He asks her what's going on. Continuing with that same inflection, she questions what's wrong and why he's looking at her like that. But that voice, those eyes, Bra calls him out for looking so scared. But he shouldn't be frightened, yet. The real horror is about to come. He stutters for her to answer what she's trying to say and what's the matter with her. She sounds just like, with a smile, she chuckles the mortals here and their fragile minds, so easily polluted by fear and illusion. Letting loose a dark energy all around her father. He finds himself paralyzed with fear and confusion. Bra screeches, a realm of my sphere, between the darkness of sleep and the delirium of madness. My warped mirror of reality, where traumas abound and fears are on parade. A realm of nightmares, where all your comforting certainties melt away and chaos reigns supreme. Still refusing to move, Vegeta can only theorize what she means by a realm of nightmares. But given what his surroundings have become, it appears more or less safe to assume. Though he questions if she's explaining he is dreaming all this. And, in a manner of speaking, that's correct. But this is far deeper than any normal dream. He's existed long enough to know that even the strongest of mortals tend to leave their minds the most unguarded. Physical strength alone is nothing. The power of the mind is also a necessity. Why continue a fruitless battle in that inferior vessel when he can pull Vegeta's very psyche into a place where he himself can have all the advantage? Now there's somewhere where his own will is sovereign, unshackled by the constraints of that vessel. For all of the Saiyan's fortitude, even he is susceptible to the simplest of illusions, as he has proven since awakening here. Furious, Vegeta simply asks what he wants. Meeting the demon face to face yet again, though this time aware this isn't really his daughter, and what the villain wants is simple. His essence is not yet solid enough to manifest for long without a body. Until he can restore his power and body, he needs a vessel to inhabit. The stronger, the better, and his will suit that quite nicely. Once again, the demon asks his father if he wants to teach his little girl how to fight. Noticing his assailant is only blocking, the fiend questions what's wrong and why he doesn't want to fight back. Though he already knows the answer, Vegeta just can't bring himself to strike his daughter, calling this sentiment pathetic. Even though he's fully aware this isn't really Bra, his heart only sees her face. Removing his now tattered jacket. Vegeta assures his daughter hits harder than this. Grabbing his opponent by the wrist, the prince urges that's enough. Whoever he is, this little game of his is over, demanding he get out of his head, though the demon doesn't quite feel it's over yet. In fact, he assures his delusional mortal friend they've only begun.